It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, June the 19th, and we, your KQ Morning crew, are in one piece. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The weekend that was. I mean, Father's Day was like an afterthought. That's what kind of weekend it was. Holy smokes. Twins got rocked yesterday. We all spent the day at Leinenkugel Saturday. But Friday, let's go back. Let's go all the way to the beginning of the weekend. First things first, everybody who came out to the KQ Karaoke Cruise, what a stinking night that was. I mean, seriously, when they said 600 people were coming, I was like, yeah, okay. And then at some point it hit me. I was like, wait, 600 people are on this boat.
Right.
That was a true boatload, and it was awesome, and it was fun. And I got to say, just first things first, I have always understood the enormous footprint, the cultural impact of KQRS on the Twin Cities and its greater area. But boy, when you spend a few hours like that on a boat with a bunch of listeners and have endless conversations about that fact, it is humbling and it is exhilarating and it is mind-boggling. And I felt nothing but just complete appreciation for the entire situation. Like, how on earth did I get here? I can't say enough how much it just meant to me and my wife. We were driving back afterwards, and we were kind of in awe and shock. So thanks to everybody who hung out on the boat, and I got a chance to speak with a whole lot of folks. We all did, but for me, it was my first time doing this, so just really tremendous. Thank you to everybody. For you guys, Zepp and Candace and Tony, just old hat. You've done this a million times, but for me, I got to tell you, really, really, really amazing.
Oh,
what a night.
Best feeling in the world. And you're going to see some familiar faces as time goes on.
Yeah.
And you use the word humbling, no less humbling after all these years. I mean, it's amazing. And when I see people come out and they actually know your name or they really listen, more than I listen on the show. And I'm like, oh, that's right. That did happen. It makes me think the same thing. I told Tony, I'm like, God, I wish I worked harder. I wish I made more of an effort.
I wish I deserved it.
Yeah, right. I think, geez, God, I really should apply myself more. These people are really counting on us for something semi-interesting in the morning. But no, just a cool experience. And then you chase it with that Saturday at Leinenkugel. I don't know if we've segued away from Friday night entirely, but yeah, that was a blast. And thank you to Stillwater Riverboats as well. That was the big boat.
It was huge.
Yeah, that was a big ass boat, man.
It was indeed. Some incredible performances as well with the karaoke.
Yeah.
And then also thanks again Stillwater Riverboats, and then obviously Saturday. Thanks very much to the Leinenkugel Brewery, the Leinenkugel family. John Leinenkugel was with us on Friday. Tony Buer, who is the president over there, and everybody in that whole family. I mean, I met their parents, you know what I mean? I met other siblings and cousins and friends, and it was also a really special thing to recognize what it is to be a family business and to meet so many of the family. What a great all-around weekend. I mean, honestly, my head was still spinning last night when I laid down, and I was like, I don't think I could handle every weekend like that, but I'm already looking forward to the next one whenever it is. I mean, it was great, really, really great. And to a lot of KQ listeners, I was amazed at how many people Friday night on the boat said, I'm coming over to Liney's tomorrow. It was awesome to see people 2 nights in a row. Really, really what a fun weekend.
Yeah, what a great road trip over. That we had the weather for it. The Bagman IPA, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. It was just the right amount of hop to get the afternoon. Was it afternoon by the time I had one? It was afternoon, I believe. It struck just past noon when I cracked my first liney over there. They filled my first cup. And then the Bagman. Steve, thank you, brother. That was
awesome.
Right? I mean, my God, I don't want to just sit here and kiss the new guy's ass, but I'm going to kiss the new guy's ass.
That's fine. No one's going to stop you.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. Tight. I don't know when you guys are bringing the act, when you can get everybody back together here in the Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin, somewhere. But if you get a chance, the Bagman. Check them out. That was phenomenal. And you guys have the website. Someone told me you have some tunes up on the website.
No, there will. There's like little videos. There's clips of us in the studio. There will be a couple songs. I think we're going to put a couple songs up there next week.
All right, outstanding. That was awesome. Phenomenal.
Make no mistake, when another gig is booked in this area, we'll be talking about it. We'll be letting the people know.
Won't have to pry it out of you.
No. We got some gigs next week actually down south. We got some gigs at the end of August, but that's about it right now. We've got a lot. We're putting the pieces together, figuring out some more shows. But we had a blast too. Believe me, that was exactly what we were hoping that gig would be. And back to the Bagman IPA. Yeah, I started my second one and went, I got to put this down. I have to go. I have to play a show in a little bit, and this is strong and good, and I really want to keep drinking it. But my professionalism kicked in. I was like, I guess I better get some water. Might come in handy later in the set.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, you were the entire band was working up there, and just what a fantastic event and venue. It's only just a little over an hour drive, depending on where you're at in the metro here, out to the Leinenkugel Brewery, Leinie's Lodge, and how fast you press into that pedal, right, man? But it's just a quick hop over there. Chippewa Falls is such a fantastic place. Highly recommend it. Not just because we were out there having a good time, but just a great weekend getaway to get over that way.
Every little bar you see, though, on the way, every single one of them serving Leinenkugel beer, serving Leinenkugel.
That's awesome. I stopped counting around 200 over the weekend, the number of times somebody came up to me and said, Steve, yep, how you doing? Good to see you. Where's Candace? the queen of the people, Candace Wheeler. Boy, Candace, they love you. I just laughed every time after a while. It's like she's bouncing, man. You'll see her eventually.
Right. I just had a blast. I love our listeners, and just you guys are my friends, and I just love to rock out. It was just the fantasy weekend.
She of the Calling Dr. Love.
Oh my God. I literally sang all the wrong lyrics, but no one really cared. I just wanted some audience participation.
Work the crowd.
You got it. It was awesome.
You can only improve on Kiss lyrics, and I'm a Kiss fan, but I'm just saying, you can only...
It is time for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. We start off with a little love nugget. Spotify president Bill Simmons has been in business with Harry and Meghan for 2 years, and he has paid them millions, but now calls them bleeping grifters, bottom-feeding jerks, lazy, classless bums.
Wow.
Okay, well, Bill Simmons didn't get where he is by keeping his thoughts to himself.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. And Dior is now talking about paying Meghan millions of dollars to be their flag bearer, which I think is a bad move. Personally, I think they're going to be broke within 18 months. They have no money coming in and don't seem to have any prospects either.
Well, the Spotify deal, I believe, $20 million, and they produced 12 podcasts.
Yes, it.
Total.
That's it.
That's not a good return on investment and I'm not crying for Spotify, believe me, but at the same time, if you want to keep getting those $20 million checks, you might want to think about churning out more than a dozen conversations with other famous people.
I would think so, yeah. Jennifer Aniston has had 2 short failed marriages, admits that she hasn't been on a real date for a year, but she says she's determined now to start looking for a real, true love.
Oh,
good luck for Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
So last Friday, I told you number 10 through number 6 best tippers and promised the top 5 celebrity tippers and the 5 worst celebrity tippers today. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, the worst 5 tippers, number 5, Madonna, who usually leaves 5, maybe 10%, no matter where she is or what she orders.
Come on, Madge.
Come on.
Just terrible. Tiger Woods always makes sure that whoever he's dining with always leaves the tip because he's not going to leave one. Tiger Woods.
What has
Archer
happened?
gives an autographed picture for a tip, although you can buy one on eBay for $6. Britney Spears comes in number 2, who complains about service as soon as she gets to the restaurant. Starts arguing with the waitresses. That's what her MO is. And she never tips valets. Valets complain about. Number 1, Jeremy Piven, who never tips, period, and has been banned from several restaurants, including all Nobus, because of his cheapness.
Well, he plays a dick very easily in every one of his roles. He's kind of a douchebag. Maybe it just comes a little naturally for him.
I think it does, yeah. Now the top 5 celebrity tippers.
Okay, great. Let's get some good news in here.
Number 5, Drew Carey, who always leaves 75% tip exactly.
Very nice.
Number 4, Hulk Hogan. Whatever the bill is, he doubles for tip.
Doubling up, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, Hulk.
Charlie Sheen was 100% tip, and whatever the bill is, very often will leave that same amount and tells the server to have dinner on him.
Well, okay, fair enough. I like it.
David Beckham usually leaves 200% tip. How about David Beckham?
Okay, fair enough.
Number 1, Johnny Depp. And really, all bets are off. He's left a $1,000 tip on a $60 beer tab. He's left $4,000 tip on a $2,200 tab. Should be pointed out he's usually drunk or stoned at the time, but who cares?
Yeah.
I have some anecdotal information that confirms that. I know people that hang out with Depp on a regular basis, and that just comes up. They're like, man, the guy just absolutely hammers the tip every time. It's incredible.
That's fabulous.
Good for him.
And finally, the answer to an age-old question. I know you've heard about it, and now I know the answer. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I'm going to have to say the chicken, Mike.
Well, scientists say that they have now proof that the original bird that developed into a chicken gave birth like mammals, natural birth, not eggs. So the chicken came first, not the egg.
Well, I am a man of science, Mike, if you didn't know that already.
I love it. Hey, have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
See you, bud. I like the idea of tipping just thousands of dollars because you know if you walk around life with more money than you know what to do with, at least share it with people who are in the service industry. Why not?
Agreed.
Spread it around. Yeah, show it off.
I know of an unnamed musician who once asked a waiter if he could get something, and the waiter said, "We don't serve that." He goes, "Oh, that's right. It's the place across the street." And then followed that up with, "Well, could you go get that for me?"
It's not a far walk.
And the waiter laughed and said, "Yeah." And the guy goes, "No, I'm serious. What? Why is that funny?" And he goes, "You're asking me to go get you something from another restaurant?"
Mm-hmm.
Guy said, "Yeah," and the waiter said, "That's not going to happen." And then this particular person said, "Well, I'm not going to eat here then." And everybody said, "Oh, get over it. What is wrong with you?"
Wow. Yeah.
And then we shamed him into sitting. And of course, I really wish he had left now because the rest of the meal was weird.
Yeah, right. So they thought that the server was their personal server,
Exactly.
not the restaurant server.
You're a waiter.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
You're not making the food. It was a shocker for me. At a time when I thought I couldn't be shocked by asinine behavior, yet again, there's always another level down.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah, there really is. But otherwise, we, I like the tippers. I like the big tippers. I really have a problem with someone like Tiger Woods who says, "No, I just don't tip." I can't begin to imagine what the thinking is with that. Why on earth you would think that's an appropriate way to handle your situations in life?
Wasn't he sleeping with a lot of servers? I think he did tip in his own way. He offered the tip anyway. Remember the Pannekuchen waitress?
The what? I'm sorry?
Explain to him what a Pannekuchen is, first of all.
Oh, that's don't you know the it's a very popular here in the Midwest. It's a pancake house.
Right. Okay. I've seen that.
Right.
Pannekuchen. That's how you say it. Good
well,
to know.
when Tiger was going on his sexcapades.
We can call it that.
Thank you. Yeah, when he was when that whole thing was falling out after she took the 7-iron to the car and he ran it in the tree. When that entire fallout, there was the Pannekuchen server that said she had a big tawdry night with Tiger Woods. And I thought, my God, I thought he just was a man of the people. He'll sleep with any woman, but apparently not a good tipper.
I remember there was a Vanity Fair article that interviewed several of the women he had liaisons with. And one of them said that they one time went out and went to a Blimpie for lunch, and that he bought her lunch at Blimpie. And then when he ended the relationship, the writer for Vanity Fair said, "Well, did you ever get any gifts? Was there anything he ever bought you?" And she said, "Well, just the Blimpie." That was the line. Just the Blimpie. And I thought, man, that's a tombstone quote right there. Tiger Woods, just the Blimpie.
And you could tell that he had been with a Pannekuchen whose waitress because there were wooden shoes outside the hotel door.
Wow.
He smelled of maple syrup. Reeked of maple syrup. Yeah, all right.
I said, I felt I wanted to have some Edam cheese for some reason. It took me a minute. I had to find that Dutch accent. I heard one. Hey, Steve, what do you think of those New York Yankees? I have a Dutch friend who loves baseball, and he's a Yankees fan. That's what he always says. Hey, Steve, how about these Yankees? Stop. I hate the Yankees. Why are we talking about No, they got good players. The pitching staff is very strong. It's just great. Dutch baseball fanatic. Two brothers met them years ago, and they ran a breakfast place. They did bang. But they did. I was really more partial to the egg and bacon situation they had going over there. It was great. But every time we talking baseball with some Dutch guys. Hey, but as long as we're looking back, let's do it for real. How about a history lesson? I just like doing this as a reminder to myself that I'm just getting old really quickly, because I tell stories and then I think to myself, that was like 5 years ago, right? Or in this case, it was almost 40 years ago. 1984. The Portland Trailblazers, with the second pick in the NBA draft, chose Sam Bowie from the University of Kentucky. Now, Bowie was a really good player, 7-footer, great, fundamentally sound, and a wonderful guy. Good, you could build a foundation around him. Problem was, he had missed 2 complete years of college basketball with a leg injury, and it never really repaired itself. He never was fully healthy. He struggled with his knees throughout his career. His last 3 years in Portland, 87, 88, 89, he played a total of 25 games. Why do I mention any of this? Because they could have drafted Michael Jordan. And instead, Sam Bowie, he of the broken legs. Yeah, that was a mistake. Portland's thinking at the time was, we already have a great shooting guard named Clyde Drexler, which was true. But I'm sorry. He ain't no Mike. And Portland is a rabid basketball town. The Trailblazers would have just absolutely dominated, of course, with Michael Jordan. 2 years after that, on this day in 1986, Len Bias died of a cocaine overdose. The University of Maryland 2-time Player of the Year had just been drafted number 2 by the Boston Celtics, and it was an absolute tragedy that it still reverberates through the Boston Celtics organization. He was going to be the next Jordan, if you will. Len Bias was every bit Magic, Larry, Michael, Len. That would have been the next guy in that conversation. As spectacular a college player as there has ever been. Absolutely horrifying. He was going to be the extension cord. He would have given Larry Bird a break. The Celtics dynasty would have been maintained relevance. So they've won 1 title in all the years since Len Bias died, if you're wondering what an impact it was. Anyway, all this to say, Len Bias, for those of us who do remember you are well remembered, brother. Continued peaceful rest, I would hope.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, June the 19th. Good morning. We are all still in recovery mode from a whale of a weekend. KQ Karaoke Cruise on Friday. Big day over at the Leinenkugel Brewery and Liney Lodge. Saturday. Yesterday, I took in, with my wife and some friends, the Twins-Tigers game. Just, boy, action-packed. If you, want to share any of your thoughts from Friday or Saturday, feel free to call Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line, 651-989-7625. You can call for any reason, honestly. But, that's one thing we're discussing. We've also been discussing, we had Mike Evans, the Hollywood Reporter, earlier, and he went down the list of the worst and best tippers in Hollywood. Who screws over the service and who helps the service out the most. Fascinating list, interesting stuff. Along the way, we also discovered a list online of some of the most bizarre things people have requested at restaurants, like waiters, restaurant managers all weighing in with this happened once, that happened once. And let me just say, y'all are some freaks out there. There's some strange people going into restaurants and bringing the strange with them. Man, didn't your mama and dada tell you how not to bring that crazy out the house? The crazy stays home. When you're out on the street, you got to act right. Man, that's just mind-boggling to me. I'm going to go right to this one. This is on a list on a Reddit page, as all the good things are. A couple told me to wait before I pre-bussed their table so that the man could lick every plate clean first.
Oh.
They had multiple appetizers and entrees between them, and he licked every single plate clean before I was allowed to take it. This was not in a private booth. They were in the middle of the restaurant, surrounded by other diners. And again, son, leave the crazy back at home.
Yeah, that's not an appetite. That's a fetish. That's weird. Stop it.
Yeah, if it's a fetish restaurant, if it's called the Clean Plate Licking Diner,
Yeah.
let her rip, man. But if you're hanging out downtown, just at your average, sit down, have a good night restaurant, what are you doing? Why are you licking every plate clean?
We've just
You should get a job as a bus person. You'd be in heaven.
Yeah, really.
Get everybody's plate licked clean back there.
Never work a day in your life if you do what you love.
We've just become too familiar with restaurants, eating out now. We just have such an abundance. When we were growing up, going to a restaurant was like going to church. It was a formal affair.
Yes.
Your manners might slip at home just a hair if Dad wasn't looking, but not in public and not at a restaurant. It was almost a solemn occasion, but now it's just
solemn occasion.
Yeah, now it's just a free for all.
I'm with you. I'm from a family that did not, and not just because there was 8 of us, but just that we didn't grow up. We weren't restaurant people. You know, I mean, when we did go, it was a very big deal. I was 10 years old the first time I went into like an actual, like a steakhouse that wasn't a Sizzler or like a family style place, but where you sat down, the person handed me a menu. I couldn't believe how heavy the menu was. It was like one of those books. And we had just moved to Kentucky, and it was a place called the Cliff Hagen Ribeye. No. Cliff Hagen had played basketball for the University of Kentucky and was still a legend. And we went in, and we got steaks, and they had something called a salad bar. A make-your-own salad. And you might as well have told me you're going on the Starship Enterprise tonight. I looked at that salad bar, and I was like, I can choose what I want. I make my own salad. The future's amazing.
What'd you load up on?
You go with your iceberg and then just as many cherry tomatoes as can fit on a plate.
Yeah, not a little cheese. I'm going to go with 4 of cheese. Yeah, I'm going to bury that.
See, I go blue cheese dressing, so I didn't feel the need. But basically cherry tomatoes, blue cheese dressing, croutons, and I was in heaven.
I actually love the cheddar cheese with the blue cheese. It's a salad bar. Steve, you got to think outside the box. I love this one from Joe. My ex-girlfriend was a vegetarian. She would go to McDonald's and order a cheeseburger without the meat. I'd make her order it because I was too embarrassed to do it. Yeah, maybe McDonald's isn't for you if you're a vegetarian, but they have salads now and everything.
She just really loved the way they slice their onions, I guess. I mean, are there condiments, the pickle and onion, better than other places, so it's worth doing that?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It seems awfully lowbrow for a vegetarian, but yeah, they have those diced onions.
I like this one at a very nice restaurant, apparently. A gentleman asked for a tablecloth. He wanted an entire tablecloth. The problem was he had soiled himself while sitting at the table. Wanted to wrap it around him so he could leave with a shred of dignity remaining. And of course, if I'm that waiter, I'm like, yeah, you're darn straight. Here you go, bud. I'm sure he gets that tablecloth. And the waiter wrote, I still serve him to this day. That was 15 years ago. No shame. He comes back once a week. We've never talked about it, and I've never asked for the tablecloth back.
No, you don't want it
Of course not.
Went back.
By the way, if that's the kind of thing that happened, there has to be there's limits and lines with everybody's personal ability to handle certain situations, I guess. But if you're at a table, you're at a nice restaurant, and you soil yourself, at some point you do just have to go, well, it's not like I wanted to.
Yeah, right.
This wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
Not making a statement.
Sometimes when nature calls, you don't have time to answer the phone in a way that you would prefer. You just got to take the call sometimes.
I mean, it can hit quick, but I never thought, I'm not feeling quite right. I think I'll go out to eat tonight. Something's not setting well with me. I know what I'll do. I'll go out tonight. I
don't know. I got a lot of rumbles going on. I'm grumbly here. I better get out in public as soon as possible.
Right.
Holy crap!
Sometimes I get like that. Like before I go out, I get like nervous to go out. So then I just like have to do that before I go out.
Okay, thanks, Candace.
Make a little extra room.
I don't know why. I just get like really excited, excitable, and then just have to,
Okay.
But then it's nice. I'm in the clear all night.
That's
Yeah.
Open runway.
It does feel good to get rid of one before you're headed out on the town.
Thank you.
No, that's great. Good tip. Good dining tip from Candace Wheeler right there. This one, I had a guy send back his eggs because the outer rim didn't match the color of some planet.
Okay. Well, we have expectations.
I was going to go with obsessive compulsive, but just nuts. Okay.
Have you
nuts.
got Neptune colored eggs, or what are we offering here today? That reminds me, to your point, you'd go to a restaurant, it felt like a big deal, even on like a family trip, like going to a Denny's with my parents would be like, oh man, we're going to go some breakfast out, like wow.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad gave me one great he was very proud of this one. He said, if you're ordering scrambled eggs, always just order one egg.
Why?
And I said, okay, because you put one scrambled egg on a plate, it doesn't look like enough, so they always add a little extra.
Nope. Well,
he goes, you'll get an egg and a half at least for the price of one. And
I really would like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I was like 9, and I thought to myself, I just hope to do well enough to where I'm not sweating the 1.5 eggs for the price of. I don't need a lot, but I just want to get 2 eggs and not be worried about the price.
Yeah,
that's a goal in life.
Yeah, my first unofficial date, a young gal joined us at the South Dakota State Fair. So I wasn't going out on a date. I was probably like 14 or something at the time. Mom and Dad's like, all right, well, I guess you can have. From a neighboring town, so she drove over to meet us at the fair. So she's with my family as we're walking around, and we stopped there at the food court at South Dakota State Fair for personal pizzas. And I was never so mortified as when Dad said we couldn't get a drink. You could get a pizza, but no drink. I'm like, it's August in South Dakota, and we're eating pizza, and I can't get a drink even to share with her. You don't need a drink. There's a water fountain around here somewhere.
Yeah, got to be a hose behind the trailers.
Right, exactly. That's where they get you. That's where they get you? They're not. Okay. So we sat there and ate the very part dehydrated. Anyway.
These things, you got to watch every penny. And, he wanted to set a precedent for you. He didn't want you thinking that, you're Johnny Big Shot out there.
No, I was not Johnny Big Shot that day, that's for sure.
Here's a comment. I used to work at Olive Garden. There was a lady who would come in once a week. She was we called her the pepperoncini lady. She would want you to open a new bag of the pepperoncini we used in salads and pour the juice into a cup, and then she would straight up drink the juice. She would get a bowl of pepperoncinis and just eat them.
Just do that at home.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all keep the crazy back home now. Right. When you walk out the house, you got to be a little bit straighter. My grandmother, God bless Gertrude Gorman, she had no problem knocking back a pickle jar, getting that dill juice. Oh, yeah. Big fan of the pickle juice, which, by the way, nothing wrong with pickle juice.
It's good for you. There's a lot of potassium.
But I wouldn't potassium, vitamin K, nature's batteries. Another great tip, Candace. But see, I wouldn't do that out in public. I would not, and it's not because I would worry that someone would make fun of me. You'd make someone kind of feel uncomfortable if you're like, hey, got any dill pickle juice?
Hey, yeah, and it's not on the menu, I hate to be so conventional. I like to be a rebel when it's appropriate, but I guess that goes against the entire concept of being a rebel, just when it's appropriate. But anyway, if it's not on the menu, here's one. Kevin, a guy tried to order a hamburger at the Melting Pot on the KQ Facebook page. That reminds me of my grandfather only ate beef. We'd go somewhere and he'd be like, I'll have a steak. Well, this is an Italian place. We have, we have meatballs and spaghetti. Mm-hmm. Nope, I want a steak. Well, they don't have steaks here. It's this kind of restaurant, Grandpa. And he'd throw a fit till they ground something up at least and tried to cook it and bring it out to him. I'm like, why are we even taking him out to eat anymore?
At some point, you just choose a steakhouse. Just go to a steakhouse.
Oh, God, he wouldn't pay for that.
From the talking text line here, I had a customer order a steak and wanted it rare. She said, bloody rare, only cook one side.
Oh, all right.
Okay, easy.
Tartar.
Yeah, that's like vampiric.
Yeah.
Vampiric.
I think that people who is that a word?
It is now.
Okay, good. I think people that ask for things off the menu have just never worked in a restaurant. Like, who do you think is back there? Do you think Julia Child is back there? Trust me, it's not Julia Child. It's just some dude, and he doesn't want to go off book. He doesn't want to whip something up special based on your. Well, I don't see this on the menu, but do you do a steak Diane sauce, like a mushroom-based sauce?
Right.
No, trust me, you don't want the guy at 99% of the restaurant. I've worked in a lot of restaurants. You just get what's on the menu. Just don't try to get tricky. That's not like going to make their night. I bet the chef would love to make something different for once. No, he wouldn't. It would be on the menu if he wanted to make it.
I was at a Waffle House in Florida. A guy came in with a huge entourage, and he kept sending his food back. He's here at a Waffle House.
Okay, first of all, there will be no Waffle House disparaging on this show while I'm here. Waffle House is incredible, and those are the greatest cooks on earth. Don't call them a chef; they're cooks. Because they don't write a thing down, and they get the order right every time, and you just got waitresses or waiters just yelling orders out, and they just make that stuff. It's watching a Waffle House cook do his thing is better. It's better than 90% of the movies I've seen in my life.
I love their cheesy grits.
The whole thing.
Grits. Damn.
Yeah, they got. I do go off menu. It's on the menu, but it's not on the menu. The Fiesta omelet. Oh man, come on, you can't beat it. And I always forget the name. But next time I'm at Waffle House, I'm going to go, what's that omelet? It's like a party or something. Fiesta. That's it, the Fiesta. Can I get that? I never remember it until I'm on the air and I'm nowhere near a Waffle House, and now I remember what it's called.
Here's a little trick for you, Steve. Next time you order a Fiesta omelet, just order it with one egg. Just make it with one egg.
That's right.
Because they can't do it. You can't make an omelet with one egg.
Perfect.
They're going to have to add a half an egg there for you.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm gonna take that money I save and invest it in Waffle House, I guess.
Breakfast sounds good. Maybe that's what I needed, a good breakfast to get me going this morning. Instead, I'm on my third cup of coffee, just trying to kickstart from the weekend,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with coffee here, but, I'm going to have to give it up pretty soon. I mean, as in drinking it today, because at some point, for me, past 10 a.m., I drink coffee. I just can't get to sleep at night. I do the caffeine, too much caffeine in the blood. I just can't move it out. They have a new coffee hack. Goes back to our childhood. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, we're going to talk coffee hack, and then we're going to talk coffee and sexual favors. Doesn't that sound like a nice combo? There's a coffee shop in Switzerland offering sexual favors. It's all coming at 7:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, June the 19th. I've had 2 cups of coffee. I will not have a third. As Zepp mentioned earlier, you hit a point where suddenly you don't get what you're looking for in terms of staying alert and awake throughout the day, but what you get is I can't go to sleep when I want to at night.
Come on, let's get weird. Let's have another one.
Really?
All around.
Okay. All right. It's just that easy to talk me off my horse, I guess.
Caffeine up, you lightweight.
Wow. I just, but I've got plans for the day. There is an early afternoon nap, a power nap of 20 to 30 minutes max. And then I want to get to bed early tonight, and the caffeine, I don't feel awake. I can feel like I'm deadly asleep. But if I've had that third cup, I'm going to wake up shortly after going to bed, and I will then be trying to solve all the problems of my life while I lay in bed, and it's not healthy. So this afternoon, when I am dragging a bit, I might just ask someone to slap me right across the face. How about that? Instead? I need to pick me up. Go ahead and belt me. Go ahead and just open hand, just slap, pow. That might do the trick. And if that isn't going to be enough, there's a new hack, a coffee hack. This makes perfect sense to me, and it's something we've all done at least once in our lives just to see what would happen. Check this out. A neuroscientist, some smarty pants, so he knows what he's talking about. He says it's a guy who wrote a book called The Sleep Prescription. A neuroscientist from the University of California, San Francisco said, as opposed to that last cup of coffee in the afternoon, just stick your head in the freezer. Mm-hmm. Put your head in the freezer for just a few moments. You'll get an immediate boost of energy. It's the scientific reason, in quotes, brief shock of cold activates your arousal system.
Oh, well.
You can get the same effect by taking a quick walk or maybe focus on a non-work related task for 10 minutes. But deep freezing your head is the quickest option.
Yeah, it sounds like the automatic option. The going for the quick walk, already. But the focusing on a non-work related task for 10 minutes, wow, that sounds grueling and excruciating. I was a farm kid. We didn't have air conditioning in South Dakota, and it was always seemed like triple digits in the summer, so the freezer was an automatic. You'd open up that freezer, you didn't even have to stick your head in, just the blast of cold air rushing out until one of your parents were like, we're not living in a barn. Electricity costs a penny a month.
You guys did not have AC in the house?
Well, no AC out there in the old farmhouse. We had the fans in the window pointed out to suck the hot air outside. But yeah, it was always stuffy and thick. And yeah, that freezer hack trick, that was a go-to. I mean, many, many times a day, I'd be sticking my head in the freezer.
I'm thinking if you're out there and yeah, it's hot. You don't have a lot of trees to shade anything out there. I would imagine everyone's always in a bad mood, but it's too damn hot to fight about anything. So it's just a simmering rage throughout the entire community at all times.
Dad wants to get up and walk across the living room and smack you in the back of the head, but it's just energy. Too damn hot. It's just too damn hot.
That's a problem and a solution to the problem all in one.
Yeah, right. But I like this hack. Was it? Just stick your head in the freezer. It's not like you're crawling in there. You're not touching anyone's food. And yeah, it'll just, so apparently it gives you a quick pick-me-up.
I had AC my whole life until my junior year of college. I moved to a dorm on campus that did not have AC units.
Right.
It had been built back in the olden days of the 1960s, I guess. And that was a shock to the system. That mid-August moving in for the semester and then just shutting the door and then realizing, like, wait a minute, I really didn't think this was going to be that big a deal.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. Right out, had to borrow some money from my brother to go get a fan, left those windows open all day long, and then suddenly I'm thinking, how do I block them with better shade? It was brutal, man.
Right, and then the smell from a couple of college guys living in there just stewing in the August heat.
Truly disgusting. So yeah, I can imagine the freezer thing. There's another. You mentioned this also from Switzerland. If you're a coffee fan, you may want that third cup of coffee now. That there is a coffee shop in Switzerland which gives you a cup of coffee for about $55 a cup. Ooh. Now that's expensive, granted, but it also comes with a prostitute.
I did not know until I read this. I swear I had no idea. I always think of Switzerland. It's so classy. It's precision watches and fine chocolates, and you can't live here. But I did not know that prostitution was legal in Switzerland.
I was unaware of that as well, but really? I'm not surprised.
Okay.
What is it really?
Just because you've traveled there. You've traveled the world. I thought
I'm not booking prostitutes, though. That's the thing.
You just think you would know if you've been to the country if it was legal. But you're right. All right. Okay.
But I know, there's red light districts in German cities, Dutch cities. Yeah. I guess Switzerland, that makes perfect sense.
Sure.
I suppose. Switzerland is very classy, but it's old school classy, which is we'll let you do everything. Just don't talk about it. It's like we said earlier, leave the crazy at home. In Switzerland, you just keep it under your hat, whatever it is.
So this is, you go in and get a cup of coffee and a handy or whatever? Is that how that works? It's. I was weird walking into places in Amsterdam going, you have anything to smoke? Yes, we have an entire menu sitting on your table, idiot. But, so I was so under my breath. Everything's so illegal here in the United States. Although, wasn't this an Idiocracy? Didn't Starbucks in the future, in Mike Judge's Idiocracy movie, weren't they selling sexual favors? I feel like it's somewhere in the movie he said, boy, I could sure use a Starbucks. Oh, we don't have time for a handy right now or something like that. It's scary how much that movie seems more and more accurate.
It just seems to me like it's if the world is more and more addicted to coffee, and the guy's thinking, well, as long as you're getting, if you're dropping in for a quick shot of espresso, maybe take a little steam off, take the edge off as well.
I guess. Why?
Remember the Woody Allen movie Sleeper?
Yeah,
I do.
They had the device you just walk into it. It was called the Orgasmatron.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just a little quick one.
Why not?
I just heard a story last night. Somebody was telling us about a friend of theirs whose sister, boy, I'm going off script here, had a nerve condition. Mm-hmm. And for a brief period of time, one of the side effects was basically nonstop orgasms. The woman was her life was spent just on a riding the waves of one climax after another for several weeks on end.
Now she knows what it's like to date me.
That's the funniest thing I've ever said.
No,
Wow.
I know.
There it is. There it is. Finally got Candace off the bench.
I invited that. But yeah, that would be nonstop. I mean, she didn't have to do anything. They just kind of kept coming in waves.
Yeah, just
That'd be
kept coming,
exhausting.
yes.
Pardon the pun.
Where's the weirdest place you guys had an orgasm?
Oh, right there in that chair you're sitting.
Oh my God.
wow.
No, I did not.
Candace just walked right into that one. Let's see. I'm going to have to think about that, but something tells me, Candace, you may have an answer. Candace, where's the weirdest place you've ever had
I
an
know.
orgasm?
I know the answer.
During a yoga class.
Oh, really?
Seriously, dude.
I mean, did you make noise?
No.
Okay, all right.
I played it cool, man. But I was like not gonna stop it. Like that would be like I was like I'm gonna fully experience this.
You said it's happened more than once.
No,
too, right?
I didn't.
Wait,
no.
Every time
let
you
me get this
go.
straight. So you fell asleep in a yoga class?
It was more like a meditation class.
Last time we visited this topic, you were talking about your proclivities for sleeping.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna
All
stop
right.
sharing.
Yoga class. So was it hot yoga or regular room temperature yoga?
No, it was the regular.
It was
like
hot, regardless. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. What was
It
the
was
position?
meditation. It was like so. It's God. I hope my instructor isn't listening.
Wow.
It's like a meditative yoga.
Okay.
So you do all sorts of interesting.
You know what
Yeah,
your
what was the
instructor's
pose?
thinking right now? Why don't you go ahead and give the name of the studio and the
I was
phone
gonna say,
number
and
and
if you don't want to give it on
hours?
air, give it to me because
Yeah, right.
I love more efficient task. You know, my list of tasks in the day. That's getting
Right.
two birds with one stone.
Yeah, I mean it's totally fine. It's not like I was turned on by her or the class or anyone
Right.
in the class. I was just in a very like calm state of mind, and I was just feeling like I don't know what's wrong with that.
What if you kept in eye contact with somebody in mid pose while that was happening?
There are no shortage of people on the planet who tell the story of holding back a fart during yoga. That's like everybody's got one of those. But boy, this is special.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're
Candace.
welcome. I'm glad that not a lot of people are going to work today. So
You think?
Going to yoga.
So back to the weekend, 2 events out with listeners, and I'm just another reminder that probably 300 times I heard someone say, "Hey, where's Candace?" And
Meditating.
and yeah, she's all meditating. She's at a yoga class over there behind the barn.
it was a blast, and yeah, I mean, talk about hot. Your band is hot.
Oh, we're going right back there, huh? Back to the old Bagmen gig.
Yeah.
Speaking of orgasmic.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, during that set at Leinenkugel, I got so excited by the jam, and one thing led to another, and boom, there I was.
I love that.
Check that out.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, we played this one the other day. Hey, this and speaking of which, the song's called "Boil Away," so it all checks out. We
cats
can
can play.
button up every segment with that one.
I like that Johnny Smoke came up at intermission and said something. He goes, "We'll give the band a little break. Looks like Steve's sucking wind back there." And you gave him a look like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, that's what I look. I said this. I look terrible when I play drums. I look like a man who's just run a triathlon. 3 songs in. That's just part of the shtick, man.
I tell you what, man, you hit those. Man, I liked it. Those were grenades going off.
It's important to hit really hard. That's what I learned early on in life. When you set up next to a Marshall half stack early in your career, you better hit hard
Yeah.
if you want anybody to hear it. So
tight
it just
band.
old habits die hard.
My
All right, I
boy
like
Hudson asked if they actually break when you play drums sometimes. I said, do those ever break?
The head certainly breaks. You know, as the old guys would call it, the skin. How's that snare skin holding up? Like what? I'm sorry, what? Oh, snare skin. I thought you said something else. Broke a few sticks. That happens.
Yeah.
That's just sloppy. Haven't played a gig in a while.
That's-
the excitement, the adrenaline. Playing in front of Candace, we were all excited.
Oh my God, no! So Richie, he was rocking your shirt towards the end, but you gave him your drumsticks.
Oh, isn't that nice?
He was so happy. He was stoked.
And as I like to say when people ask, people come up, they're like, is there any way I can get a stick? And the answer is always the same. Yeah, they literally grow on trees. Help yourself.
Make them every day.
They're right there.
All right. Right now on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line, callers 9 and 2, please. 651-989-ROCK. We're playing TV Dad Advice. or bumper sticker saying. Tickets up for grabs. 92 KQRS presents Kansas, Friday, July 14th at the State Theater. Prize provided by Hennepin Theater Trust. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck and hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, June the 19th. Yesterday was, of course, Father's Day. I had a couple of lovely phone calls from my two children. Neither one of them is in town. Tony, good Father's Day?
Yeah, it was really nice. Went to Patrick's French Bakery. Has this great baguette, so we made French toast at home. Did some visiting Mom, took a bike ride, and went to Dairy Queen at night to cap it off.
That'll do it.
That's good, right?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic, actually. Zep, good Father's Day?
That was all right. I felt like they could have really, done more.
Sure.
Yeah,
I've done so
up.
much for them. No, it was amazing. It was an entire weekend thing. Of course, the other one's out west, didn't get to spend time with her. But we did FaceTime into the wee hours, and I proved that I can no longer do a handstand at midnight on Father's Day in my hotel room.
Good to know. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, took out a dresser.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
But it was a really great Father's Day for one man in the area. Benny Urban from Cloquet, the KQ Father's Day, the winner for Father of the Year, I should say, on the website. Benny Urban was nominated by his daughter, Sarah. She wrote on the page, "My dad deserves to be Father of the Year because he's the best father of 6, grandpa of 10, husband of 38 years, served in the Army for 12 years, served in Desert Storm, and is a volunteer for the DAV. He's always there for all of us and is willing to drop anything to help us when we need him. He has never missed any of our sporting events and has helped coach many softball and basketball games. He hosts Sunday family dinners every week, keeps our family glued together." That's a pretty strong resume.
That's a high bar.
And right now, Benny Urban, as well as his daughter Sarah, are joining us on the horn. Good morning to both of you. Congrats, Benny. Benny, you with us?
But still can't work a cell phone. He's a dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that goes. Sarah, are you with us?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. That's a lovely nomination you put there for your dad, Benny. And I'm sure you're very excited to know that he is, in fact, our Father of the Year.
Oh, yes. I was very, very excited. Me and my siblings were voting a lot and telling everybody.
That's great. Let's see here. So, as Father of the Year on KQ92KQRS.com, Benny's getting a brand new grill from Fratelloni's Hardware, a grill kit. He's going to see Kansas on July 14th at the State Theater. There's a bunch of KQ gear, some albums, some CDs. The whole thing was sponsored by Oak Ridge Dental. This has been great. Did we get Benny on the phone? Are you there, sir? He's not.
Well, he is, but he's not.
But we're not hearing him. All right, well, we do have Sarah who nominated him, one of Benny's kids. Please pass along our best wishes to your dad, Sarah. It's great.
Yeah.
Great to know you came through up from Cloquet. That's very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You got it.
Super dad. Superman, really. I don't know. There's that Benny.
Are you with us, Benny? We're trying.
I'm sorry that you can't hear me. I'm very excited. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's great. No, well, it was worth the wait. You sound like you're in a good mood. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Were you surprised to be nominated in the first place?
I was very surprised, and I was very excited when she did that. I got a little emotional about it. I said thank you and gave her a hug.
Very nice. And now the winner. The big winner.
Very good.
Now it's time to get really emotional. So congrats! You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that grill from Fratelloni's. Are you a grill master already?
We grilled yesterday, and I can't wait to try a new grill. Yes.
All right. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much to both you guys. Congrats, Benny. Enjoy wearing the sash and tiara for a year. It's all you, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. You got it.
That was funny. I felt like we were channeling a ghost. Like, are you with us, Benny? Are you there?
It's he is still, and that's your father.
Shut up, Tony.
I could said nothing.
It's because he wasn't answering. It's like, you guys never do that. You never try to channel anything.
To be fair, Tony Tony didn't say anything, but he did snort into the microphone.
I know that snort. I know that snort.
The snort laugh.
Had a
mile away.
seance, and Benny came back.
That's great. I'm glad we got Benny on the horn. I'm glad that Tony snorted on the mic. This is working out perfectly. And I'm even more glad than either of those two things that we're about to give away some tickets. Benny's got tickets to see Kansas July 14th at the State Theater, and so will another listener, because we are about to give away Kansas tickets, and to do that, they're going to have to play a game. Tony, what is the game today?
This shall be great fun.
If you'd been an ordinary average father like the other guys' dads, you'd have understood.
I mean, I feel like I can never live up to my dad's expectations.
Dads. Our fathers didn't download all the great dad software.
Your dad is looking good.
It ain't your fault your dad is a drunk.
We got some bumper stickers made up. Bumper stickers.
Bumper stickers.
I like your bumper stickers.
Yep, we're still feeling the glow from Father's Day yesterday, and because we need a weird twist, of course, we're playing TV Dad Advice or Bumper Sticker Saying. We're going to give you a line or two, and you say this is a line from a TV dad giving advice or you might see on the road.
Fair enough. I like it. TV Dad Advice or Bumper Sticker Saying. Candace, who is contestant number one?
We have Bart from Norwood.
Bart, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. How are you? Happy Father's Day, too.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. We're having a great day so far. We all had good Father's Day. I hope you had a good day yesterday, if you are, in fact, a dad.
I am, and I went to lunch with my son. It was actually an honest, good time.
Oh, that's great. Well, happy Father's Day to you. Are you ready to play TV Dad Advice or Bumper Sticker Saying?
I'm probably going to be guessing on most of them, but I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. Tony, take it away.
All right, Bart. That's pretty much what everybody does. They just guess. You got it, Bart. Number one, I'd rather be sailing. TV Dad Advice or something you'd see on a bumper sticker.
It sounds like a bumper sticker.
It does, and you are correct.
There's a fine line, though, right?
It's not like an advice that your dad gives you. I mean, the best advice my dad gave me was dance. Chicks dig it.
He was right.
Yes.
He was right.
Even though I suck at it, even though I'm not good at it, I mean, if you get out there.
Yeah, it's the effort.
That's fantastic. Adding to the game already with his own advice. Well done, Bart. 1 for 1.
All right, Bart, number two. What's small potatoes to some folks can be mighty important to others.
Sounds like an Idaho potato commercial, honestly.
Would it be?
I'm going to go with advice.
TV Dad Advice. That is Sheriff Andy Taylor from the Andy Griffith Show saying those wise words.
Especially Barney.
You love Barney?
The whole show.
Yes, Fife was wonderful. Number three, lie. Sell shoes and lie.
I bet you that's from Married with Children, so I'm going to say Father's Day.
You are correct. Yeah. That is Al Bundy. Absolutely.
Really? Wow. Not only TV, but he got the show correct. Well done. You're 3 for 3, Bart.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Hopefully I win.
Okay, one step at a time. Hold on now.
Oh,
let's keep that horse in the barn.
Hey, just being on the show with you guys, considering I listen to you every day, is winning enough.
Thanks, Bart. We feel the same.
That's fantastic.
Yes. Bart, number 4.
Over here.
Number 4 is coexist.
That's a bumper sticker.
Yep. Number 5, be open to everything and close your mouth.
My dad never gave me that advice, but it sounds like a TV dad might.
That's right. That's Frank Costanza from Seinfeld giving those wise words. And your last one, responsible people don't go around twisting nipples.
That's got to be fatherly advice.
TV Dad Red Foreman from that 70s show.
Might make that one into a bumper sticker. Mm-hmm. Fun, yeah.
That would go. I mean, what's worse than a white tornado?
We all know the answer to that one, Bart. 6 for 6, man. Wow. Bart came to play this morning.
I guess.
And a living example of, it's about the journey, not the destination. He already feels like a winner just being on the show, and then by God, he goes.
Right, I do.
Then he runs the table.
I love you guys, man.
Well,
love you guys.
Thank you very much, Bart. I'm going to put you on hold, and that doesn't mean we don't love you right back, but we do have to see if contestant number 2 is up to snuff. Candace, who is that contestant?
Matt from Delano.
Matt, good morning.
Morning.
I don't want to throw down any more of a gauntlet than the game already presents, but Bart went 6 for 6, so I hope you're feeling wide awake and you got your A game ready.
Well, not really.
Okay.
But doing good.
Or I hope you're a disheveled mess and you're already stoned. Either way, let's have fun. What do you say, Matt?
Sounds great. Thanks, Steve.
All right, Tony, take it away.
Hop in. Number 1 is visualize world peace.
Bumper sticker.
Attaboy.
Sure enough.
No dad would ever say that.
Score 1 for the stoners. Okay, Tony.
You ever see one that said visualize world peas?
Peas.
Yes. Right. A dad. That is a dad joke.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, alone we move buckets. Together we can drain rivers.
Dad advice.
That is TV's Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Really?
That's pretty deep for Mike Brady.
I don't remember that. Do we know what episode?
I think
I'm going to have to go down the rabbit hole and find that one.
I think Bobby lost his skateboard. I don't know.
Together we move.
Number 3. Number 3, ask me about my grandkids.
Dad advice.
Oh, my heavens.
I mean,
it is, yes, but
it was tricky.
Bumper sticker.
But that's a bumper sticker. Seen it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, all right. Well, let's see. All is not lost, man.
Of course not.
We're still playing for pride.
All right, number 4, what would Jesus do?
That's a bumper sticker.
It is. Number 5, shoot for the brains.
Bumper sticker.
That is Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's just common sense.
Good heavens.
Jeez.
And your last one, walk a mile in someone else's shoes. No, don't. That's gross.
Dad advice.
Yes, Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. Absolutely.
All right, Matt, you went 4 for 6, which is a quality effort. Make no mistake about it. But I'm sorry to say, not enough, as Bart ran the table 6 for 6. Bart, you are going to go see Kansas Friday, July 14th at the State Theater. Congratulations, sir.
He's crying his eyes out right now. Don't forget to dance at the Kansas show, Bart.
On Friday, too, because I have to work all week.
Attaboy.
No doubt.
This prize provided by the Hennepin Theater Trust, and man, it's going to be a good one. This is part of the Another Fork in the Road 50th anniversary tour from Kansas. Right on. Thanks for playing, both gentlemen, and again, congratulations, Bart.
Thank you. You have a great day.
See ya. We'll do our best.
I'll be listening.
Thanks
that
very
sounded
much.
like a threat. I'll be listening.
Taking notes.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you guys, of all the reasons to hide under a car, the one in our story coming up seems like the best reason to me. But it is, in fact, illegal and a weird fetish. We can't wait to fill in the details at 8:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, June the 19th. A whale of a weekend. We had the KQ Karaoke Cruise Friday night. We had a day at the Leinenkugel Brewery on Saturday, and it was awesome for all of us to spend an awful lot of time with an awful lot of our listeners. Really kind of mind-boggling. I know a lot about KQRS. I know how much this station has always meant to so many of our dedicated listeners. But, man, there's nothing quite like getting on a boat for a few hours on the St. Croix River and hanging out with our listeners in person and hearing those stories. My favorite line off the top of my head, a guy walked up and he goes, "Steve, I've been listening to KQ since November." And then long pause. Of 1970.
Right.
I was like, right on.
He remembers the month.
It was just a lot of that for the entire night on the boat. And, man, it just... warming my heart. It would be a grand undersell on how great it felt. Just to get a real up close and personal sense of how much the station, how much this show has always meant and continues to mean to so many of our listeners. So again, from the bottom of all of our hearts, thanks so much for coming out and making that such a special night.
So fun.
It was a blast.
Some fine singers, some fine balladeers.
Yes.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, it certainly scared me away from the microphone. I just did not get that intoxicated, and people kept getting up and singing. And I thought, I'm not there yet. They sound pretty good.
I know there's at least half a dozen people from the boat who are going, yeah, Steve, you said you were going to sing, and then you didn't. And you're right. I did, and I didn't. And it's to your, like you, Zup. I got there. Well, once Candace knocked out Calling Dr. Love, I just thought, I can't possibly, I can't compete.
No, you don't follow that.
No.
You just get out of the way.
Congrats to Tanya, too, who won our karaoke contest.
She sure did.
She won tickets to see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks. She won a trophy, a football. I did the really good catch. Like I threw it and she caught it. It was like a moment.
No, you wailed it at her head and she got lucky.
You kind of did that shot put throw kind of thing. I would work on your spiral a little bit. That was cool. That was the other thing. That boat was so freaking big with 2 levels. I didn't get a chance to meet everybody. We have another one coming up. We're not ready to make the announcement yet, but I'll have to. That's the other thing. You're like, good God, man. It was like trying to cover the U.S. Bank Stadium in a couple of hours.
Yeah, they, when I heard ahead of time, I was told, hey, the trip sold out, 600 people. And I was like, oh, that's great. And for some reason, that number just didn't filter to my brain, the part that actually thinks. And when we got there, we got Stillwater, and I looked out and I saw the line. I was like, oh, 600 people. Oh, right on then. Fair enough. And a lot of great stories about a lot of the trips that the listeners have been on over the years. Vegas, Nashville, down to the Punta Cana. Is that what it's called?
Punta Cana.
I mean, there were so many. I just heard I nonstop stories and anecdotes, if you will, and it was just top notch, man. I had a blast. Thanks so much for everybody who came out.
Yeah.
Before long, it's going to feel normal to you. Before long, it's just going to be, we're getting together with the gang this weekend, our 600 pals or whomever. Yeah, right.
It was fantastic. I will say, not quite as fantastic as a story that is blowing up on social media. In Charleston, West Virginia, or outside of Charleston, West Virginia, I should say, deputies got a call a couple nights ago. There was a hunting cabin out in the woods, and deputies got a call to arrive. There was a burglary in progress. When the deputies got there, they found 4 individuals lying on the ground in the cabin, all tied, hands behind their backs. Tires on their pickup truck and ATV had been flattened. Inside the vehicle, with the flattened tires, there were items from the cabin that had been stolen. So in the midst of, while these 4 people were robbing the cabin, guess what happened? A masked vigilante of sorts appeared, subdued all 4 of them, left them tied face down on the floor, slashed their tires, and called the police. The cops have no idea who this person was. The suspects themselves said a man in a mask came in here and put us all down, tied our hands together, and the only thing they know is that it was not the owner of the cabin. So there is a mystery hero in the Charleston, West Virginia greater area.
Yeah, that's kind of badass. And when I first saw the story, I clicked on it, and then they show you the pictures of the, I guess, criminals that were zip-tied, and I was expecting to see some scrawny teenagers, young teenagers, that might have been a little intimidated and tossed down on the ground by an older, bigger man. But these are grown adults that were apprehended, zip-tied, vehicle slashed. Diana Brown here, who lives near the cabin, talking about this unknown person.
It's difficult to sit back and watch what's going on and not being able to do anything about it. I'm glad somebody was brave enough to step up and do something.
Yeah, some good old boy out there in the sticks just had enough, put on a mask, and got to it. So Batman is trending this morning.
I was thinking, like, they didn't say what kind of mask, and so of course I immediately go to the red, like the Mexican wrestler mask, that covers your face.
Right.
But then I thought, what if it was like a tribal mask, like a big shank of wood, and with a coat hanger to keep it around your head. You know what I mean?
Like I used to hang on the wall and bring back from
barn hay hanging out for hair or something like that. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm as always. The hope is that this doesn't turn into where we actually have a problem. Where the vigilante, okay, you did it good, dude. Maybe retire. You're 1 for 1. Retire undefeated. Next thing you know, he's going to be, there's going to be he's going to be breaking up a carjacking, which is really just a guy trying to, get the keys. Where are my keys here? I can't. Is the door unlocked? No, it's not. And then stop right there, sir. And then you got a vigilante on the loose who's running amok, and then we got a problem. Then you got the police making appeals. Stop with the vigilante. Leave this to us, would you? It's a normal. It happens in all the superhero movies I see.
Yeah, they just go too far. Then what was the old line in the Batman movie, the Nolan series with oh God, I'm blanking on the actor's name. Not the most recent
Christian
one.
Bale.
Christian Bale. Thank you very much. Any hero that sticks around long enough to become a villain or something like that, you don't want to do that. Yeah, because there's a fine line between putting a mask on and doing some good for the locals and putting a mask on and just being a nut job out there.
I thought you were looking for the line when Alfred said, "Some men just want to see the world burn, sir." Michael Caine just giving it all, man. Still just gets right to fourth gear.
Still breaking caddy. All right, well, we'll find out, or maybe we won't, more about that. Or you get all fired up because we don't have much information. Then we find out he was just one of the burglars, and he waited for them to rob the place, and then he robbed them and just zip-tied them to look like a hero. I don't want to get too excited about this, but it's a little exciting.
That would excite me. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Just that's a heck of a caper right there.
Yeah, not bad. I like it.
You're not the hero this city deserves. You're the hero this city needs, sir.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like it.
I got to work on my cane, but it's fun.
Oh, that's not bad.
Keeps me going in the morning.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. I like it.
Well, we're doing what we can. But back to crime. Back to the crime stories. There's a dude in Lincoln, Nebraska, who missed a few lessons along the way. 20 years old. His name is Jesse Johnson. He was busted last week for the third time this year. What is he doing outside of a grocery store? He's not stealing groceries. He's not doing anything fun like riding the carts, down the parking lot into parked cars or anything. No, he likes to climb under cars. He likes to hide under cars. And as women approach the car, he reaches out and grabs their ankles.
Oh, dude.
And he says, or their feet. And he said, I just have this weird addiction and odd behavior. I don't know why. Grabbing a woman's feet as she is approaching her own vehicle. And again, third time he's been busted this year. He was also busted in 2021. He now says he wants to get counseling, but he not sure how he's going to pay for it. He's been ticketed for disturbing the peace, but now the police realize this might be a little bit more than just disturbing the peace. This dude, Jesse Johnson, just needs to be relieved that he's not yet done that to a woman who's accompanied by me.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Tell you something. Those hands might not be returning to your arms anytime soon.
Right. Or just even the wrong woman. You're in a vulnerable position. You're under a car, dude.
Yeah.
When you're doing this. And
I think he looks for like sandals. Clearly not going for any stiletto heels.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that could then go right through that hand.
At least he's aware of his own condition. No, he's very self-aware.
But
yeah, I guess
that's the point. You're self-aware. Stop it. Steve mentioned he used to like to chew on his nails, but then at some point it became impossible to do during he just stopped his behavior. He said, I have a weird addiction and odd behavior. All right, then knock it off.
Okay, wait, let's compare Steve to the foot grabber. Right. Where's that coming
from? Chewing nails, foot grabbing. I mean, we're talking toenails, fingernails. It's in the...
I know.
One leads to the other.
But Brian, you're missing it. I was chewing my nails. Well, I was not at the grocery store chewing strange women's nails.
That's a gateway.
There is a difference.
That's a gateway.
It's a gateway. Candace, are you excited about the thought of someone chewing your nails?
It's a funny image to think about you doing that.
What about him nibbling on your toenails?
I feel like I could get this guy to stop because once he takes a hold of my feet, he'll never touch another foot again.
Once you go Candace's feet.
Yeah.
And Candace and those misshapen feet rides to the rescue every time.
I crawled under the wrong car. I like it. Yeah,
I don't know. I was in yoga class, and this one girl seemed to really be enjoying it, and I'm like more than the rest of us, and I thought I'd like to get a look at those feet from under her car. So I ran out ahead of time. I got under her car, and I don't know. The whole thing just went sideways.
Yeah. So it's not a foot fetish thing because a foot fetish. I mean, there's a lot of ways to manifest that. This is scaring women. Sort of attacking them is what he's doing.
He is. Yeah.
And he's attacking them. It just happens to be their feet. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what went wrong in his life. What wire got crossed? What happened?
There's a host of wires that have been crossed up. Because to your point, it's one thing to think about doing this. It's a whole other thing to cross that line and actually do it. Once that Rubicon has been crossed, then you're just asking for a hard head slap at the very least.
Yeah. Do you want to be the guy in jail? What are you in for? I don't like to grab women's feet from under a car. That's probably going to get you beat up.
I want to see him sneaking into those mattress stores. That would be a good spot for him.
Yeah.
Into the what? The
mattress stores? Yes.
Under the beds?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you've got to crawl under the car. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
This must be kind of a small guy. Now that I'm thinking, really didn't even think about that. I don't. There's not a lot of cars you can crawl under. I mean, an SUV maybe a little higher off the ground, but the average car, let's say that woman you saw in aisle 4, she's sporting the Toyota Camry. You're not climbing under that thing,
right? Yeah. Right. The only time something like this would be acceptable is if you had a camera crew with you and you were doing it for a TV show.
Then it's perfectly acceptable. There's no, as long as you're going to put someone on TV, they don't mind if you scare the living daylights out of them at the grocery store parking lot.
Not at all.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense
I like
to me.
this. This never happens on a Monday for us. I think this is a good thing for a Monday. I think it's just the medicine we need for a Monday morning. A professional jokester. We have comedian Ada Rodriguez already speak with us here at 9 o'clock. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Friday. It's not Friday. It's Monday, June 19th. No one said anything. I was like, they're not paying attention. Actually, I was confused. It's Monday, June 19th. In a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Ida Rodriguez, a great comedian who is at the House of Comedy in Bloomington, June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. In the meantime, apparently there's such a thing as National Eat an Oreo Day. And apparently, is that today? Is that what I am to understand? Psychologists have discovered the manner in which we eat our Oreo cookies provides insight into our personalities.
You're not a real psychologist if you studied that.
Yeah, no kidding. That's like, imagine being the guy in the room. They're like, okay, we've got some new studies here. We're going to look at the connection points between young parents and what they experienced in orphanages. Okay? Yeah. And I want you to take on a Oreo study. Watch how people eat Oreos and tell me what kind of person they are.
There are psychologists that were C students, too, and they have to have something to do.
Yeah, those are the guys that all went to Western Kentucky. They got that psychology degree where I did. I took a psych class. I took freshman, Psychology 100, and I was walking around like an a-hole for weeks. I can tell you're insecure. You want to know how I know that? I literally thought I had the keys to understanding everyone in my life suddenly. And I did think, man, this is fascinating. I should really maybe I'll major in this. And I'm really grateful because had I majored in that, everybody I knew up to that point in my life, I probably wouldn't know them anymore.
Right.
They would have all gotten tired of it. Does anyone have a specific Oreo cookie protocol?
Yeah.
Sep?
Not anymore. I mean, I suppose when I was growing up, I did. But just because I wanted to try and milk it, because we just didn't get a lot of. We went to town to get groceries once a month. Mom would get a bag of cookies, and we would come home, and they would last for 2 days. So I tried to milk it, but these days I don't even take a bite. They are bite-sized to me. Mm-hmm. In they go, the whole thing.
No thought process.
Oh yeah.
Tony, what's your Oreo scene?
Yeah, the scene man is I will separate the discs, the top and the bottom.
I would have bet my shoes that you were going to say that.
And chomp into the
Here's the
creamy
thing, though.
center.
If it breaks, then I'm pissed off. I'm at that age of my life where if the Oreo breaks, I'm just like, I don't need this.
I will dunk in milk. I don't drink or have milk in a lot of things anymore. But I will, if there's an Oreo, I will look for milk. And if all I can find is almond milk, that's fine too.
Okay.
Just anything that looks or tastes remotely like milk. My son, if he has a milk product, he has lactate. He has to drink lactate. I'll knock that out. I don't care. But I was just thinking about this. And I don't just dunk the Oreo into milk. This is weird. I've never thought about this. I take a bite, then I dunk the rest of the cookie. But I take that first bite, and I'm wondering if that's my way of trying to, like, I'm helping the cookie soak in more. It's a break in the dam, if you will, or like there's a weakness. It's a weak point. It's that first little hole in the wall, and then the rest of the milk can flow through, or something. I'm curious what that says about my personality, that I'm letting the Oreo soak in more. This is just mindless banter at this point, but that's what I do.
Weird. It throws you off if you don't do it in that order, right?
I guess it would. Candace, do you have an Oreo protocol that you follow?
Yeah, split it and lick it.
Split it and lick it.
Well said. That was a bumper sticker.
I guess.
Yeah.
I can't do regular Oreos though anymore. Like they have to be double stuff, otherwise it's just like not satisfying.
It's too much.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Too much stuff.
That's crazy.
I'm going to be completely honest. I bet it's probably been 20 years since I've had an Oreo.
I just can't believe it's that they haven't come up with split it and lick it as a slogan yet. That makes perfect sense to me.
I'm going to use that this week.
What about this? On this list, though, there was a list, and we can get back to this after we speak with Ida, but some people apparently eat just the cookie but not the cream filling. Now that's...
What?
That's downright. That's like, I mean, that sounds like someone. You got to be an alien if you're thinking that makes sense.
The hell? Then try a different cookie. What do they do with the innards?
I don't know. That's a question for another day. But right now, Ida Rodriguez is joining us on the phone. She's at the House of Comedy in Bloomington, June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Ida, good morning.
Good morning. What were y'all talking about?
Well, it's National Eat an Oreo Day, if you can believe that. Okay. Are you a fan of the Oreo cookie, and do you have a specific way of attacking an Oreo?
Yeah, the classic way. I separate and then I start from the inside out.
So I believe Candace just called that split it and lick it, is what she said that was.
Okay, Candace. I like it.
Some people scrape it with their teeth, though. You don't have to be weird and lick it.
I don't know, man. It's been a while. Yeah, to your point. I don't remember the last time I had an Oreo, but that's we can get back to that a little later. Ida, you're just blowing up. You've got the special running on HBO Max, your stand-up special, Fighting Words, and then this was shot right before a hurricane hit New York City. You shot it in the Bronx, where you are from. Tell me about the Bronx, because I've spent some time there, and every time I'm anywhere in the Bronx with a friend, I feel like I'm in a different part of the world. I mean, there's so much going on there. I can't get my arms around it.
I know, nobody can. That's the part. That's the magic. It's like going through that wardrobe in the Chronicles of Narnia. You end up in this other place. And it's like you get real good food for cheap money.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff going on. It's very culturally diverse. And it's just, those people all belong to each other. It's a very interesting culture there. Like, no matter where the people are from, they all are part of the Bronx. And it's hard to explain. You just got to get through it.
And so you grew up there?
No, I didn't. I grew up in Miami, Florida. I was there as a child, and then my grandmother came and abducted me and took me to Florida.
Well,
it's a Florida story.
That is a Florida story. This Fighting Words, the show on HBO Max, shot in the Bronx. There's a travel documentary at the end of it. Trips you took to Puerto Rico and to the DR. You have both Puerto Rican and Dominican heritage, I guess.
I do. My mother's Puerto Rican. My father's Dominican. I didn't grow up with my father. My mom kidnapped me from him. I've been taken quite a few times, and I want to know where Liam Neeson has been when I needed him.
So wait. You're throwing out words like kidnapped and taken and stolen by your own grandparents and your mom. How literally are we supposed to take these words?
I mean, it's actually true. People, when you take a child from another parent and they don't know where you are and they're looking for you, it's kidnapped. My mom would say, she would beg to differ, but she actually took me and she took me across to another country and brought me to the United States. And my father didn't get to see me again until June 2021. So it was pretty traumatic for him as well. Wow. But lots of therapy and Oreos, and you do it.
Therapy, Oreos, and a perfect situation for someone who one day is gonna. It makes perfect sense that you would say, "I think I'm going to be a comedian. I think I got some stuff to work through, and I'm going to make some people laugh about it."
Yes, it's been. Listen, I think horrible things happen to everybody, but you just got to make a decision how you're going to deal with them. And for me, it's always been try to find the funny and try to find a way through, because, I can sit around and say, woe is me, things happen to people, things happen to everybody.
Right.
So let's make this laugh.
Yeah, I recently became a fan because I heard you were going to be on the show, and I'm like, you can't keep up with all the comedians streaming out there. But I thought, okay, Ada Rodriguez, I'll look this up. And immediately you and I have nothing in common, but we have everything in common. You talked about reuniting with your dad and some of these things that a lot of us have gone through, or just having parents or growing up poor and grandparents and growing up with our grandparents. And it's immediately relatable. And you talk about the gritty stuff, but you make it funny, and that's how all of us overcome it. Some of us have come to it. There's depression involved or whatever. But if you're going to overcome it and laugh about it, you have to take on the gritty, dirty stuff in life and somehow figure out how to laugh about it. I'm an instant fan. By the way, I've already sent out your road rage bit to a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine who tailgates everyone, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And I went, oh, my God, her parents abandoned her. That's why she tailgates. I get it now. You're right.
She needs a hug.
Yes, I'm going to hug her. I'm going to hug her. She's getting a hug.
She'll take it from a stranger. Anybody who'll give it to her. All of our stuff plays out. We love to point out what makes us different. This has become very fashionable. It's become part of the polarization of this country. The reality of it is that we are all more alike than we are different. And when the aliens come, nobody's going to care about anything. We're all going to be trying to survive.
I am glad to hear you say that. I've been saying for years, I can't wait for the aliens to get here, because then we're all going to look at each other and go, you ain't so bad.
Brother and sister. And you're coming to the House of Comedy here this way, June 22nd through the 24th. You got a bunch of shows here. Have you been here to the big mall for the? Yeah, you have been. All right.
I always come in the winter, and it's funny because all the lake house people come out, and I'm like, one time for the men who want to escape from their wives in the winter, and they all clap.
Ida Rodriguez is with us on the KQ Morning Show. So I'm sorry to ask, but I have to. You live in the Bronx. Are you a Yankees fan?
You know what? My brother got drafted by the Yankees out of high school, so we had no choice but to be Yankees fans.
Wow. That's allowed. That's allowed.
Yeah, that was it. But honestly, baseball, my family is part Boston, part New York, and then they all migrated to Florida. So there's been this ongoing war in the family with the Red Sox and the Yankees. And I'm like, oh, you guys have become like America. America is like that now.
That's right.
Like you, rather. You're either a Yankees or a Red Sox fan, which is crazy. But, I grew up in a Yankees household.
Right. Well, it's your household. We can't judge you for that. You had no choice in the matter. We understand.
No.
How many shows a year are you doing these days, Ida?
So, I've been touring since the beginning of the year, and we've been going out pretty often, but not as often as some comedians. Mm-hmm. I honestly go only to the places where I want to go to. I don't go everywhere. There are cities and places that I don't want to play. So I'm lucky in that way. So I've been out. I think about 20 weekends so far.
That's not a few weekends. That's a lot. That's fantastic. At at the House of Comedy down in is that Bloomington?
Yeah.
Technically Bloomington. Yeah, I'm only 6 months in. I call everything Minneapolis or St. Paul. I'm still learning the areas to be safe. But Mall of America, Bloomington at the House of Comedy. That's the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Ida Rodriguez. It's awesome to chat with you, Ida. Thanks so much, and have a great time when you're in town.
Thank you. I hope you have a great day and have lots of Oreos today.
We're getting there. We're all going to have Oreos. Thanks, Ida.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
I have to go back to the Oreo comment she just made right there, have Oreos. It's National Eat an Oreo Day. The people that eat just the cookie and not the inside, if you would think they would have come up with just that cookie. Like Oreo has, there's so many varieties of Oreos that they put out. Yeah. And I read a thing that somebody at Oreo, I guess someone who would work there, I think that's who it was, but there was a story that said the reason Oreo introduces so many new varieties, like the the middle is mint, and then they'll have the candy flavored. They do that because every time they put those on the shelves, it spikes sales of classic Oreos.
Yes, right, because we get awfully protective of them. Oh, no. You got to have the classic. And we've been talking, I said I don't know how long it's been since I've had an Oreo. Guess what I'm doing? I'm going to be buying some Oreos because I have to go to the grocery store anyway. Shelves are bare, and I'm going to walk down that aisle and go, you know what, I think I'm going to have an Oreo, and I'm only going to buy the classic. I mean, I'm not as enlightened as Candace, or I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Sugar deficient. I was going to say sugar deficient because she needs that extra sugar. That's all just pure sugar and lard. That's sugar and lard in there.
It sure is. Stuff. My brother Doug is 2 years older than me. He was, for a brief period of time, his nickname in the family, he was called the Cookie Monster because he would literally you'd get the bag of Oreos or Chips Ahoy, and you'd have like 3 long rows in there, and he would take a whole row.
Yeah. Whole sleeve.
Whole sleeve. Thank you. That's the word. And he would take a giant mug of milk and a whole sleeve. This is a kid who would have 3 bites of dinner. And I'm not hungry. And he was a toothpick. He was the skinniest kid in the family.
Hate him.
And he would not eat a thing. And then he would go get a sleeve or more of cookies. And it was because you got a bunch of kids. It's like, hey man, there ain't a sleeve for everybody, dude. We get like 2.
Yeah, right.
And he's just like, no, I don't care. And to this day, this man who's now 60 years old will just sit down with a glass of milk and still just knock back a stack of cookies.
Great. God bless him, man.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Candace, is our caller about Oreo cookies?
Yes, Greg from Prior Lake.
Greg, good morning.
Good morning, crew.
What have you got for us, my friend?
Oh, this ought to be a good one. I have my wife upstairs already laughing her butt off, and we had our 3rd child. And as she's going through the process, she was eating packages of double stuffed Oreo cookies. I mean, rows of them.
Yeah.
Trying to get this kid, out. It's like it's overdue. Come on out. So anyway, after she goes into labor, get her to the hospital, and good delivery. And I'm watching her cut the umbilical cord, and it's like, oh, he's got some pretty good color. And the nurse said, no, he had a bowel movement inside of her.
Oh, boy.
I was kind of looking, I was like, man, he's got some pretty dark color on him. I was like, what's going on? And to this day, he does not like Oreo cookies. My wife will still eat rows and rows of them.
Still want to go buy Oreos, Zep?
Not as much.
Yeah,
no.
You're listening to me, Pam, upstairs. Good morning, darling.
That was what I was thinking. Don't know that really just keeps everybody in the mood for a bunch of Oreos right now. Hey, listen, we appreciate the call. We appreciate the left turn we all just took in this celebration of the great American cookie. Thanks for listening, brother.
Oh, I love it when I don't see them coming.
Yeah, that was not anybody's. Yeah, if you'd seen that one coming, I'd be concerned for you, quite frankly.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. I've got some information to share. Apologies in advance to anybody who's ever experienced a kidney stone.
Ooh.
Because you're about to be triggered. Doctors in Sri Lanka, I'm going to say this, really, this is important. I'm not making this up. This is true. This is documented. This is verified. Doctors in Sri Lanka have removed what the Guinness Book of World Records say is the largest kidney stone ever. Now, kidney stones, generally speaking, are very small, but they don't have to be very big to cause incredible amounts of pain as they travel through one's body. Generally speaking, you get a kidney stone, you're going to pass it through your urinary tract, and it's going to be just a tiny little speck of something that really causes a lot of pain.
Oh, yeah.
This gentleman in Sri Lanka, his kidney stone was 5.2 inches long.
Oh, dear God.
It was 4.5 inches wide.
Oh, gosh.
And it weighed 1.75 pounds.
What?
How is that possible?
Oh, man.
It was removed surgically,
Yeah.
of course, because that bad boy wasn't coming through. There is a urinary tract, I guess, maybe in Sri Lanka. There's an elephant that could have passed this, but no man.
Wow. Feel free to have a glass of water. That's what they say. I've never had one. I've had friends that have had them. Tough people that I know that cry like little babies when they get, and you're right. They're like a pebble of sand, grain of sand, creating excruciating pain. And they say they're... what the doctor often tells them is make sure you're getting enough water. Drink more water to dilute that. It's a calcium buildup. Yeah. Obviously, the calcium. I'm looking at the picture. That's a gourd. It looks like a gourd.
It's a uric acid can be built up in your body that can lead to kidney stones. That also is what causes gout. And as a recent veteran of the gout wars of 2022, also known as the go to Mexico for a week and eat a ton of fish tacos and drink way more beer than you should, the pain of gout in the foot, apparently when people have said, well, transfer that to your urinary tract, trust me, it's not something I ever hope to experience. And I am on a mission to never experience again. I cannot begin to imagine. However, this is, to your points up, I have two good friends who both have suffered from kidney stones, and these are absolutely tough sumbitches, and they go to the mat. They talk about the pain. They're like, no, it's the worst thing I've ever experienced by far.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine. But this guy, they're like, sir, we found the problem. You've got a kidney stone the size of a grapefruit. Imagine hearing that.
I mean, the doctor's holding it. That's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Didn't he feel it before as it started growing? Before it got to that point?
I would think he would have had to,
Where the hell would you put that in your body? What's big enough?
Here's some great news. Let's change the topic because now I'm just feeling like I'm like, what is that? What's that feeling I have? I think I have a kidney stone forming. It's going to be the size of a building block. The Powerball is up to $380 million tonight. The Powerball jackpot.
Yep.
No one's won this bad boy since, what's the date? April 19th. We're at $380 million. Now, a few years ago, they changed how the Powerball and the Mega Millions worked to build up bigger jackpots. You have a 1, here it is, the old number, 1 in 292 million chance of winning this thing. But here's good news. For anybody who is planning to win the Powerball, which I'm planning to win tonight's Powerball. If you are a resident, if you buy your ticket in Minnesota, you don't have to be a resident. If you have a Minnesota ticket and you win, you are completely allowed to stay anonymous. You don't have, the lottery commission for the state will not, if you don't want them to, release your name to the public. Doesn't that take a load off your mind?
It does, however.
Yes.
If you don't show up to work the next day, what the hell are all your buddies going to think? What are all your coworkers going to think?
To think you have gout.
Mysteriously out, right?
Trust me. If I get another flash of gout, I ain't coming in.
Right.
If the Powerball goes, if someone brings home what I say, $380 million, if that ticket is mine, I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here the rest of the week. I'll be here for a while.
Yeah.
Because I just want to. just want to let the heat die down a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like in Goodfellas. It's like, don't buy the mink coat. Just keep that money under the bed. What are you doing? You don't want to get whacked by Robert De Niro. And so, if I pull the $380 million tonight, I will opt to stay anonymous. And then I'll just slowly, you guys will start to pick up on little tips like, why is KQ adding a helipad?
Yeah.
Like things like that will start happening, and then you'll finally put it together.
I was just sitting here daydreaming, as you do when you win the lottery, just before you win the lottery, really, fantasizing, listening to your approach, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not. I wouldn't show up the next day. Tomorrow morning, I would call into you guys. Yeah, I just call in on the hotline, and instead of hanging up the phone, you would just hear it hit the ground from about, 30,000 feet.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and then the phone's gone. Good luck trying to find me. I'm out of here.
I thought you were, when you went, I thought you were going to say, a girl can dream, Zep.
I would, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it takes, because if I have to stay anonymous, I'm not opposed to going drag if that's what it takes.
Candace, you going underground, or you letting the world know you've got $380 million?
Yeah, I would be okay with people knowing, and then I would definitely share the wealth.
Well,
why?
Why not?
I'd share the wealth, but I would do that anonymously as well.
Yeah, I would share the wealth with everyone I paid for something. Here, have some of this. Now give me that.
Tony, what's the honest to God answer? What happens? You get $380 million. So after taxes, of course, it comes out to about a third, I think. You're going to clear $120, $130 million after taxes. What's the first plan? What's the first thing?
I always have this fantasy. If I win, I'm going to get a big hotel room. Then my family and friends come in one by one, like in The Godfather. They kiss my hand, and they tell me what they need.
Yes.
And I perhaps will grant them this favor.
What if one of them says, I need all the money you have?
Mm-hmm. Well, then they'll be shown the door.
Okay,
sleeping with the fishes, I think, right?
Wow. Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
One of those kind of deals. I do remember reading, and listen, this article bothered me because it was just a bunch of people whining about how winning millions had ruined their lives. BS. I'm not buying whatever. I do hate that. But they did say, and this I believe, that as they gave their money away to family and friends, just, not charities, but to family and friends, almost all of them ended up resenting them for it. The family and friends at some point turned on them because you can't keep feeding them, right?
Yeah.
And then hey, I'm going to buy a house for you. I now have property taxes. Well, you bought me a nice house. Now I can't afford the property.
I need furniture.
Right. It just
there's a certain type of person who holds his greatest scorn for the people who've helped them the most.
Right.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like, I feel indebted to you, therefore I'm going to hate you. How dare you help me?
I love those people so much, I would disappear without any trace.
That's probably the smartest thing any of us can do. So anyway, we'll check back in tomorrow and we'll see who's here and who's not. It's either going to be gout or millions of dollars, one or the other. All right, let's look back. How about a history lesson? It is June 19th. On this day, 39 years ago, 1984, the Houston Rockets had the first pick in the NBA draft, and they selected Akeem Olajuwon from the University of Houston. He later added an H to his first name to become Hakeem, but in college he was Akeem Olajuwon. First pick of the draft. Houston never regretted it. He's one of the 50 greatest players of all time. They got 2 back-to-back titles in 94 and 95. A great draft. Then the Portland Trailblazers selected another 7-footer from Kentucky named Sam Bowie. Sam Bowie was a great player who had some serious injuries. In fact, missed better part of 2 seasons while a college student. Never, ever did his legs fully heal. He played for the Trailblazers sporadically. It was one of the great busts, if you will. I don't think of a guy whose career is injury-prone to be a bust necessarily. But in terms of, boy, you had a great draft pick and it went horribly awry, that's one of the biggest ones in history, largely because the third player taken on this day 39 years ago was a guard from North Carolina named Michael Jordan. The Portland Trailblazers did not want Michael Jordan because they already had Clyde Drexler. That is a decision that for 39 years has haunted Blazers fans and brought great joy to Chicago Bulls fans. On the same day, 2 years later, June 19th, 1986, Len Bias from the University of Maryland, the night after being drafted number 2 by the Boston Celtics, died of a cocaine overdose. He was the back-to-back player of the year for college basketball. And Len Bias was absolutely going to challenge Michael Jordan for best young player of the 80s. He was incredible. If anybody listening remembers watching him play, you know just how special he was. I was working at a basketball camp when that news broke. I was a counselor, and I had a bunch of 7th and 8th grade boys, and I had to walk into the gym and tell them that Len Bias had died. And everybody just cried. They were so freaked out and sad and crying, and the word on the street was that they thought it was drugs, but nobody was saying that for sure. Left that part out. But boy, you haven't lived until you had to break the news to a bunch of kids that one of their heroes just died.
Yeah.
It was really, really sad. And I'd like to thank Len Bias for scaring me away from cocaine, for real.
Right.
Like, everyone's always like, hey, you got on the road, you didn't do a lot of blow. I'm like, no, Len Bias. Thanks. Appreciate that.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.